So complainants can be reluctant to share those details that will facilitate the process and allow a meaningful investigation. And a respondent is entitled to some degree of detail. If a complainant comes forward with minimum details, and there is an option in the whistleblower platform to reach back through the portal to say, we understand you've made a complaint. We appreciate that you have come forward. This is a very difficult process. The organization has retained an external third-party investigator. We're taking this very seriously. Would you consider speaking with this investigator? There are various protections that can be put in place, but you should know the procedural expectations in a workplace investigation. Sometimes hearing that there's a third-party investigator, hearing that there are anti-reprisal legislation on the books to protect complainants who come forward in good faith, sometimes that will encourage a whistleblower complainant to share more details, to facilitate the process. If that person is not willing to share additional details, the investigator is sort of locked in with what they have. They have to do the best they can with the information they have. But one might imagine if the allegation is you misconducted yourself during the retreat, that is a difficult allegation to investigate. A respondent might say, if I asked, did you misconduct yourself on the retreat? They might say, no, or I have no idea what you're talking about. What retreat? We've had 7. When? Who said? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's very difficult to test an allegation if there are the bare bones. So these are some of the problems that can come with bare bone whistleblower complaints. There are complaints that lend themselves to anonymous reporting. If an employee sends out an email, their name on it, all users, everyone gets the same email with on its face what would appear to be discriminatory, racist language. It's not important to know who came forward with the complaint. We've got the text, we've got the information, that should be sufficient, and a sufficient basis to ask the respondent, what do you say about this? What do you say about these phrases you used? But when it's a one-on-one situation, for example, say it's workplace sexual harassment, where 2 people in a one-on-one meeting alleged sexist comment and perhaps an inappropriate touch, with whether the individual is identified or not, if the person says, I'd like to maintain my anonymity, I don't want to identify my name, it's quite possible the respondent will guess accurately, unless the respondent has a habit of making sexist comments and inappropriate touch, and you just can't imagine who the person would be. Whether the person is named or not, there's a good chance that they will understand who it is. The other option that might come forward, if there were multiple anonymous whistleblower complaints about a general environment, if the concern is that this environment, based on all of these different reports, appears to perhaps have a toxicity issue, that there's a poison workplace environment, instead of an investigation against allegations against a specific individual, an employer can direct the investigator conduct an assessment, a culture assessment or a workplace assessment, where all of the members of the relevant workplace, all of the department or all of that division, they're all interviewed. And through that process, the investigators identifies trends and themes, which could come to sort of a cultural review about the workplace. Sometimes those assessment interviews also lead to specific complaints against an individual, and then the investigation starts. So I feel like I've been hogging the airlines, but those are some of the consequences and tricks that can be introduced through an anonymous process.